This video was not created with any ill intentions of hate or retaliation, but with love and hope that there will be attention brought to the many injustices that we as blacks face in our criminal justice system. Y'all stay up and stay good people. Check this out. Okay, so this right here shows you that officers don't feel that they have to comply to the law. He just ran the stop sign. Was he already in pursuit of this vehicle? Because if he was, then I'm convinced that it wasn't because of the tag and registration, because how did he even see the tag backing out of his driveway in the midst of rain, pouring down rain?
1915.
And how did he have time enough to run those plates so fast? A lot of questions.
Hey, stay in the car! Stay in the car!
Nelson and Griggs.
Get in the car! Dude, I'm stopping you. Do you have a license? Do you have a license?
For what?
I'm stopping you. Do you have a license?
What that do?
Do you have a driver's license? Do you speak English?
Yes.
Can I see your license?
What that do wrong?
The plate doesn't belong on this car. Do you have a license or no? Do you have a driver's license?
Yes.
Where is it at?
It's in the car.
Get it for me.
What that do wrong?
The plate does not belong on this car.
Amen. Grab me my right right there. Right there.
No, no, no. Stop. Stop. Put your hands right in your head. Stop. 1915. You got one running. Northbound. Stop. Stop.
Okay. Damn.
Stop. Stop.
Okay.
Get your hands behind your back.
Okay.
Hands behind your back.
Okay.
Get your hands behind your back.
Now here's my thing. If he's struggling this hard with this man, what is he gonna do if he's in the crowd?
1950. Stop
If
more
he's
cars.
having to detain more than one person?
Stop.
Okay.
Stop resisting.
What do you do to him? To you?
This here shows the level of incompetence in the officer, and it also shows the confusion that Mr. Lyoya was experiencing at this
Let go
point.
of the taser.
It is quite natural for anyone that is confused to ask why someone is trying to cause them harm, do anything to protect themselves, grabbing the taser or whatever. Especially if you are not familiar with the laws of this land.
Don't buy him like that, though.
I know, but I'm just saying, man. I'm a black man too. I don't.
Yeah.
Man, come on, man.
1950. Start with some more cars.
Okay.
No, he said he's good, but man, yo, what's up, man?
No, just want nobody to get no work. Man, get the keys.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop resisting.
Get the key.
No, he good. He not resisting nothing, bro.
Phone him or something or whatever you gotta do. Yo, come on, man. Get the key. Come on, man. Y'all don't. Man, come on, man. What did you do? Come on, man.
Okay, why you gotta do all that, bro? He good, man.
Let go of the taser.
No, like he good. Like you can talk to him, bro.
Ah!
Yeah. Like he good, bro. Like can you talk to him like good? Like can you? Yeah. Stop grabbing him like that.
No!
Nah, he good like for real. Yo, you hit him too. Hit that shit, bro. Listen.
Let go the taser!
No, he ain't got no taser. I see that.
Let go the taser!
How many cars you got going?
Drop the taser!
Everyone.
Get back! Get back! 1915. I was just involved in shooting. Nelson Griggs. I'm Nelson. With the Griggs.
All right. I am a determined black man, John Jay, and today, as usual, I am determined to reach at least one someone that's listening to the sounds of my voice, if not each and every one of you all. And today, we have witnessed another unfortunate demise of a young black man, 26-year-old Patrick Lyoya of the Republic of Congo in Africa, and by way of Grand Rapids, Michigan, which was where this event took place. This unfortunate event took place, and Patrick lost his life. Sad thing, because Patrick and his family actually came to the States hoping for a better life, fleeing violence in Africa, only to come here 8 years later and lose his life. Sad, sad, sad. Very unfortunate. And this is why I am here voicing my opinion, because I feel that there need to be more people like me speaking out on issues like this. Because it's not just in the case of Patrick. It's not just in the case of Michael Floyd. It's many cases like this where officers take their authority to the next level when it's unnecessary. I am not totally in agreement with why Patrick was pulled over. Though Patrick appeared to have violated the law by having a fictitious license plate and couldn't present his driver's license, my understanding is that those are misdemeanor charges and that he could have very well just been given a citation. Now, I know that Patrick's actions before all of this took place, him jumping out of the vehicle after being stopped, all of that kind of builds a suspicion for officers, and that gives them more reasoning to say that there's a reason that they need to look into whatever. But my question is, what was it that Patrick did to initialize the stop, or to initialize the officer running his tag in order for him to discover that it was a stolen tag, or that it was an inappropriate tag for their vehicle? What led him? Because the video cam, the dash cam from the officer's unit vehicle, that cam shows him bagging out of a driveway and onto the main road, and Patrick being about 200 feet or maybe 400 feet out in front of him once he was able to put his car in drive. So I want to know what led him to actually running the plate on Patrick's car, because I don't know what did Patrick do to make him want to run the plate. You know what I'm saying? That's my question initially. What made him run the plate? And then because I'm willing to bet that he maybe that was his home that he was backing out of. He noticed two black men passing through his neighborhood in a fairly old vehicle. that maybe didn't appear to be, a vehicle that would match the description of vehicles in that neighborhood. And so he decided to run the license just to see where they were from. This is a tactic that many officers use. I have been in my hometown. I have been in places near my hometown where officers get directly behind you and they'll tell you, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you drive through a certain neighborhood, they'll tell you, they'll get right up behind you and run your driver's license. Run your tag plates. You already know what they're doing. Because once everything come back clear, then they zoom around you. And if it don't, then you're going to get pulled over. But that was one of my main questions of concern with this issue. I know that Patrick was not in compliance with the law as far as with the tag issue and his driver's license, but none of that should have weighed any merit to the fact that Patrick lost his life. It was no reason for him to lose his life. And if that officer wasn't trained properly, then he never even pulled out his mace. He tried to deploy his taser. Patrick grabbed it. Yeah, I know that was a little aggressive, but any man, especially a man that's confused as to why he's being detained, would try to protect himself. And see, a lot of people ain't saying that they seeing Patrick grabbing the taser, but the thing is, anybody in a position like that, especially if you're not knowing how the laws work here, you would more than likely react in that manner. I am by no means defending Patrick for anything that he did wrong. Him avoiding arrest was against the law. No matter what, if the law is trying to detain you, then it's best probably to comply, especially if you know that that you're in the wrong in some way. He knew he didn't have a license. I'm not sure if he knew about the tag plates on the vehicle, but he knew he didn't have a license or he couldn't produce it at the time. So, black men, it's okay. Sometimes we have to put our pride to the side. However, I'm still not convinced that this young man was not confused. Just because he said he speaks English doesn't mean that he comprehends English very well. So, I would leave that up to the experts to determine. But in my opinion, I feel like he was confused. If you look at the way that he tried to run off, it wasn't the run of someone that's trying to evade the law. Trust me. I've seen plenty of times when guys try to run from the police. This wasn't one of those cases. Patrick's pants was halfway off of his butt, for one, which I don't agree with. I don't like no black man doing it, but I see he's come over here to America and probably being cultivated by Americans, black Americans. That's one of our trends. However, no matter what, none of this should have resulted in the end of Patrick's life. Matter of fact, what he did initially with the tag and the license could have been handled with a citation. However, I think the officer actually was aggravated by the fact that Patrick appeared to be confused or whatever, and the fact that he knew that Patrick was a foreigner, and he could tell by his accent that he couldn't speak English very well, is why he questioned his English. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that led up to the officer doing something to Patrick. I just can't see how an officer that's trained to use pepper spray, a nightstick, a taser, and all these other different tactical skills that they obtain in their training. I don't see how, with him having a single subject on the ground, face in the ground, that he could not detain his subject, or he couldn't come up with a better way to detain him. And the only thing that he could do was to take a shot to the back of Patrick's head. And he thought that was the right thing to do. Now, if this doesn't tell you the value that this country has on our lives as black men, and I'm not saying that every officer thinks like this, I'm just saying that it's happening too much. Not to be, I want to say even a majority of the officers of light color, they have this ulterior motive in the back of their head, and they say to themselves that if ever presented an opportunity or a situation as this, then this is what I am going to do. Now, this is just my opinions. And I have encountered officers, been in different situations. I have encountered some good officers that could have took things a certain way, but they didn't. But in this case right here, I feel like the officer escalated the situation because he wanted another situation, which was to take the life of this young man. And unfortunately, he did. And sadly, his family has to go through this process of losing their loved one. And not only that, being lied to or either having to figure out the truth, you know, because you would hope that the law would be here to protect you. But we also see in cases like this, and in many cases like this, black men, even if not put to death, black men get treated rough and differently than others when it comes to the law. I don't know if it's that they feel threatened just because of our physical being or what, but I just know from my own experience, even when I'm legal, totally legal, not only do I feel threatened by the law because I know how they escalate situations, but I feel uneasy. You know what I mean? And that's why I could put myself in Patrick's shoes, and I could see why he kind of became a little uneasy, because the matter that he was being stopped for didn't warrant him going to jail. So I understand. I'll never make excuses for anyone that breaks the law. However, in this case, the reason why the officer stopped Patrick did not warrant his death. It did not warrant his death. It did not warrant his death. It did not warrant his death. Patrick should have been given a traffic citation, or at the very most, taken to jail for the fictitious license plate. However, it should have never come to the level of aggression that it did. One, Patrick was not even being aggressive. He was just being a confused man. Patrick is not from the United States. He's only been over here 8 years. So he hasn't learned all of the different compliances to the law. Now, I know that the law says that ignorance is no excuse. So I won't make an excuse for him. But what I will say is that in situations like these, the officer needs to be trained better in how to interact with people that don't speak English very well, or maybe don't comprehend very well, you know? Because though he said he spoke English, it didn't mean that he interpreted or that he comprehended. And not only that, none of his actions warrant his death. He never presented a weapon. He didn't have warrants. He wasn't a fugitive. He only was being stopped because of his tag, per se. I just don't get it. But I hope that this stuff comes to an end someday in America. I hope that we can become the first-class citizens that we are. We need to be treated like the first-class citizens that we are. All of us are not vigilantes, just like you all. You all have been slaughtering people forever, but you want justice for yours. We demand justice for Patrick and the Lyoya family. We demand justice, and we just won't stand any further for this injustice. Whereas a cop can pull one of us over, and no matter what the illegitimacies are, if I'm not posing a threat on him, he should never pose a threat on my life. He is here to protect and serve. As a matter of fact, he working for me. And if I'm not doing anything to violate him, then he should never violate me. Anyway, I hope that I helped somebody out there. I hope that y'all jump in the comment section, go wild. Let me know how y'all feel. This is Determined Black Man John J. I hope that y'all stay up, stay good. Y'all be safe out there, man. Y'all see how it is. Y'all see what's going on. Y'all see the current quote right now. This is how it's going. I'm not saying that every white officer feels this way. I'm just saying majority rule. And y'all got to change this. Make a difference. We demand justice.